Andrea. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm going to talk about some demographics I found.
Sure.
About Florence.
Oh, neat.
Because Florence is Florence. So did you know that their number of males, the percentage, is 51.5%?
Oh.
It's almost 50%.
Yeah.
Females is 48.5%, obviously.
Okay.
Percentage of white in Florence is 59.9%, Hispanic 38.7%, Asian 0.4%, it's not even a whole 1%,
Wow.
Native American 0.2%, and African American 0.09%.
So the majority of people is white and Hispanic.
Yep. Oh, look, unemployment for June 2014 was 4.5% of the population.
Wow.
Wow. And then in 2013, the recorded poverty was 14.2%.
Wow.
Oh, I also found some information about political parties. So most affiliate democratically, 37.9%, and then Republican was 59.5%, and those with other was 2.6%. So mostly Republican. And then I also found about religion too. So surprisingly, what they've got was people put none as a religion, so 62.5%, and then Protestant was 15.4%, which we saw some in those churches there. And then Catholic was 11%. So that's pretty crazy. I think it's crazy that people put none. It's such a small town.
That is. That's
What did you
interesting.
find?
I found that the main industry of Florence involves the local winery. That's one of the biggest places in Florence. It's called the Vineyard at Florence. They have lodging for guests to stay. It's a really big tourist attraction. And according to some of the local shop owners, business has declined in the last few years because of the major roadway that they built around the city. It used to be you had to go through Florence to get to the major highway. So a lot of people would come in through there and stop in Florence to kind of look around. But nowadays, the local shops are kind of negatively affected because of the decreased traffic going through there. And then I also found out that in 2014, the median household income was $43,553. So I think they're well off.
Seems like it.
Enough.
Okay, so just tell me about this rash.
So it's
Oh, hello there.
Oh, hi.
My name's Kathleen, and I'm here to talk to you about the health environment of Florence, Texas. So about 9 years ago, they had a Scott and White clinic, but that closed down. And so now there's nothing. Hospitals, the closest one is going to be in Georgetown or Killeen. The closest optometrist will be in Georgetown, Liberty Hill, or Killeen. Pharmacies, there's a CVS in Killeen. There's a Gallagher's in Georgetown, or a Liberty Hill pharmacy. And those are all about 17 to 20 miles away. So put on some walking shoes, or you better have a car. There's also a dentist in Georgetown and Killeen, or a walk-in clinic in Georgetown and Killeen. So in conclusion, there's nothing in Florence.
Thank you so much for coming to our health fair. I really do appreciate it. Now, let's talk about your schools.
Okay.
Okay, so, obviously Florence is a 2A district, which, out of 6 is, relatively small. But I do want to mention your ratings. Your middle school is pretty average, though the high schools are really recognized and exemplary. You do have some areas to really focus on if you're going to try and improve your school district. Mainly the second language acquisition program. Unfortunately, in the middle school that y'all have there, it's only acceptable. The highest is exemplary. You've got a lot of work to do there. So let's keep going. your GT students, you've got a great program in your high schools. But again, unfortunately, your middle schools are lacking. But your overall rating is a 5 out of 10, which, if I were you, I'd move to Georgetown.
The Florence Police Department has one police car. Their crime rate's pretty low. As of 2013, they had 5 thefts per 1,000 people. Other than that, there were no murders, no rapes or assaults. Also, there are Williamson County police cars that you can see occasionally. The Florence Police Department received 700 calls last year. Of the 700 calls, majority of them were wildfires and vehicle fires. They employ 18 volunteers, 6 part-time employees, and 5 full-time employees. They rely heavily on the volunteers because they don't have the resources they need in order to employ more firefighters. However, as recently as 2 years ago, they started an incentive to give firefighters $2 to $5 depending on how many calls they pick up.
In Florence, Texas, there's not a lot of options for food choices. You can go to Dollar General for your food, or you can go to Vic's Produce, where you can find a tomato, an apple, a banana, a cucumber, some lettuce, but you don't have very many options. You have to drive all the way to Florence or you have to drive to Georgetown or Killeen to get fresh produce. And in Florence, there are only 6 restaurants. There's the La Fonte Italian restaurant, Cowboys and Angels Southern Cooking, Mano's Mexican restaurant, Florence Donuts, Pollo Rico Fried Chicken, and Florence Diner. But most importantly, in Florence, we have Linda's Liquor, where all the fun happens.
Oh, hello. There is no transportation in Florence, Texas. So, if you want to have some fun, go to Austin. Have fun getting a ride to Austin, because first you're going to have to get a ride to Georgetown. Did you know that 24.3% of the workers in Florence, Texas actually carpool?
Whew, I feel better. So, Brooke, talking about Florence, did you know that there's 5 different churches? 5.
No, Madison, I did not. Tell me more about
There
that.
are 3 Baptist churches.
3 Baptists.
1 Methodist
One
and 1
Methodist.
Catholic. So there is lots of spiritualness going on in this town. All of them have activities for the children and youth, and
Gotta children. So
they're
important.
centered to the community. So what do they have to do in Florence?
Madison, do you want to go on a wine run?
Sure.
The Florence
5K?
Vineyard hosts a 5K.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do that next weekend.
Okay.
There's also a citywide cleanup.
Mhm.
Gotta keep those parks clean.
Yes.
They have a park,
Okay.
a library,
Okay.
and a vineyard.
Drink some wine.
And they also have an annual Christmas tree lighting.
Oh, that's
How
sweet.
sweet. Get in the holiday spirit.
So speaking of the library, I heard it's run by volunteers, but they do have yoga 2 times a week on Fridays and Tuesdays.
We don't have school on those days. That's perfect.
Yep, we get our downward dog
I'll wear
on.
my yoga pants.
Yes, ma'am. And they also have classes for Spanish speakers to learn English and English speakers to learn Spanish.
Hola!
I think happiness went that way. Sometimes you just have to wait. I never believed in God, but things got so that I had to pray. Used to steal my daddy's Cabernet. Never thought that it would turn into a rattlesnake. Thinking
They reply
everything will be
heavily.
alright.
They really
Maybe see another Saturday. Roll around with nowhere to go. Argue with the homies over who's gonna roll. But my goodie mob has some food for the soul. Till it's 2 in the morning when the rain hits the windshield. And everything is still. Nothing really is a big deal. One day I'm still will be alright.
All right.